test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the purge of the BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without consequence. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they too will be watching the purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
We can enter any home we want, and we will want. His wanting is our will on this fine night. Don't force us to hurt you. He's just like a purge. To the standard.
You better find someplace else to go.
I got a wicked sweet tooth tonight. And I want my candy back.
Tuesday edition. Thank y'all for stopping in. Make sure my multi-chat is working. I see we got IMZ in the chat. Thank you for stopping in nice and early. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button as soon as you touch down. Once we get into it, you're going to be so into the show, you're going to forget. So you do it now, get it out the way, and then we can get to this purge of the BS. Now, this is another solo session, so we're going to be diving deep into a couple of things that have been going on and how America's narrative has been repainted right before our eyes. And if you are able to see it the way I am, then you can bring it to the purge of the BS. We can get it out there. Be something, say something, right? So nonetheless, I think I'm ready to go. As long as I got a mod or two around, I don't think it's a wide open chat today. We're trying to keep things in line. And some folks are just running around on the internet doing goofy stuff right now. It makes it hard to just focus on that's because there's so much of it. So much of it. And so today's canvas includes some of Ted Cruz's damage control, Charlie. Got a issue over at a Dollar Tree. Not really sure what that's about, but hiring now. Got some AI bots in our AI AO segment where I just wanted to give a quick shout to the RizBot. So we'll talk about the RizBot if you haven't. And we got a couple other things. Dad pranks going wrong, just a few different things. Because I want to focus on what America is, what America used to be. Because we're talking about making it great again. You know, I don't know exactly what time period the person is referring to, but I would say maybe each person has their own version of not necessarily great, but better than it is now. You know what I'm saying? nonetheless, other chat. Bear with me a moment, folks. I'm trying to get that to come. There we go. All right. I had to wake it up real quick. And you guys will start to see it in a minute. There it goes. All right. What's up, Al? Thank you for stopping in, man. Appreciate you so much for coming through. We're going to go into our first purge of the day. Now, before I get all the way into this situation with Charlie Kirk last week was pretty crazy situation. And I went over some of the initial responses, which got hundreds of people fired. I told y'all not to do that. Hundreds of people got fired because they said a bunch of goofy how people. And so there's definitely some open jobs. Jobs have been created. So somehow Charlie Kirk created a weird way to say that, but it happened. Y'all did it. I didn't do it. But in addition to that, there's been a number of, like an uptick in people just doing goofy stuff out of what they call greed. Okay, I'll give it to you. Like I said, I'm going to let them have it. Let them have it. Because for the first time in my lifetime, identifying elite Christian millionaires as a target group or minority is they're in danger, like a victim. The first, so I'm gonna let them have that. I don't want this. So if this is got to hit all groups. First it was black people, and it's these people, now it's these people. Hey, if everybody gets to be a victim, then nobody's a victim. Okay, maybe we can come together on that and start building from. But some people have taken this situation as a means of, I don't want to say politicizing initially. Sometimes it's just using it like grief. Like if you lose somebody, sympathy that comes along with that. Some people like to feed on that because it does feel good when people come to your aid and they say, anything I can do for you? How you feeling? They're bringing you cakes and stuff when somebody passes away. So some people, I believe, to a degree, may be milking it a little bit. But I understand. People grieve differently. But there was this one particular act that came to me. Not right now. Not during the purge. Every day. Don't nobody call any other time other than when I'm on this podcast. I've admitted. Anyway. So the wonderful Ted Cruz apparently was driving down 59 freeway in Houston. Ran into what he calls some graffiti. Decided to address the graffiti. Ted has done because he's cleaning it up. Charlie. All right, so Ted Cruz pulls up, and this image here, and so Ted decides, well, he puts up a post. So he got someone. He said, "Come on over here, take a picture of me doing this." And he puts up a post. Some deranged bastard put this graffiti on the 59 freeway in Houston. Now, what's funny is there's a tag there. So whoever the graffiti artist is, they just got a little bit of press because their tag is on the bottom there. I don't know, Ash or whatever it says there, but somebody's tag is there. But anyway, you see what it says, right? So Ted, being the public servant that he is, Ted has decided to paint over this horrible graffiti because he said Texans don't need to look at this hateful garbage. So this is what Teddy did. Now, I'm going to give him an E for effort. I understood his plight. I see what you were trying to do, but Ted, I would suffice to say you made it look worse, actually. Like if it was an eyesore before, now it's an eyeball popped out. See what I'm saying? Now, hey, I appreciate what he was attempting to do. I get it. But why not just use the paint that's the same color as the brick behind the thing so it blends in? Why does it have to look like somebody splooged all over the side of the bridge? It's really going to attract attention. And without Ted Cruz standing there to explain it, people would be like, what the hell is that? So I appreciate what Teddy did. Okay, Teddy, I see what you were working on there, but you really screwed up worse. I'm not trying to be insensitive here. I know his heart was in it, as well as his cameraman. And, you know, I wonder, how do you set this up, right? So you're driving down the road, you see this, and you say, you know what, Johnson or whoever your driver is, stop by the Home Depot. Probably Home Depot relatively. Go to the Home Depot, you go buy white paint and a roller, and then you go back to the location to paint over the thing with your cameraman so that you can put it up on X. This thing has 6.4 million views. So let me show you him in action here. He had to show you him in action here. You know what? I don't even know how to respond to this because I want to remain sensitive to people's grief. I've grieved. It's authentic. I don't want to shit on it. But what I am saying is this wasn't the best idea. You could have, there was like 10 other things that I could have thought of that you could have done. Now you're Ted Cruz. You could make one phone call and have a crew out there who's like qualified to deal with this. With a sandblaster or whatever they needed to do it with, it would have been a much cleaner job. But instead, because you needed to be relevant online and social media, decided to do this. And to most of us who have common sense, it looks dumb. But, whatever. Nonetheless, shouts out to No Reply stopping through in the chat. Appreciate you stopping in. And everybody, look, like I said, I don't know how y'all felt about Charlie. This ain't about Charlie. This is about Ted. Okay? And Ted doing this. It ain't got nothing to do with how anybody feels about Charlie Kirk. I don't even want to hear that right now. I've heard too much of that the last few days, to be honest. So, for Ted Cruz, we do have one specific sound effect for you. We'll give you an applause for effort. Okay? An applause for the thought. But for the actual work that was done and what the result was, this is for you. So now the people who have to clean it up have to clean up even more. Thanks, Ted. Appreciate you, bro. No Reply is always a wealth of information. And No Reply claims that No Reply knows the graffiti artist that put that up there. Now, the graffiti artist that put that up there was smart because they put their tag on there so everybody who knows them, like No Reply, like, yo, that's such and such. But what if the tag was there and then somebody else came and painted the rest of it, and then Ted Cruz did his part? What if it was all cinema? Like, just humor me, because it could have just been authentic. He could have just been driving by. He could have seen it, gone to the Home Depot, the whole scenario I gave you. Or it could have been he saw a tag and had somebody do that. Came behind to clean it up. Worked on a problem that he created. So, I don't know. What I'm saying is, it just seemed weird to me. And it seemed weirder that nobody around him said, hey, Teddy, brown paint is the thing we have. You know? We could just do that instead of making this thing look like somebody threw a big-ass milkshake on the side of the highway or something. I don't know. But anyway. No Reply. You got to find out what the KAS stands for. You're going to have to report back. Because now I need to know. I thought it said cash, which would have been cool too. but you're right. It's K-A-S. So I wonder who that artist is. And you know what? If I could get that artist somehow, maybe through Instagram, on the show, so I can ask them about this mural that they intended to side of the highway. So I see what he's saying. I see what Teddy's doing there, but just you know, you're supposed to be a smart guy, Ted, and I would think that the color of the paint would definitely make sense. Whatever. Y'all make sure you hit the like button. Algorithm's a little ticked off at us for something we did the other day, and so we're recovering from that, but we're doing well. So if you share it, all that kind of stuff, we're doing okay. So what's next on? That's where we're starting. I don't know what's about. All right. Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure this has a fight in it. Not that the Dollar Tree is known for fighting, but whenever a video comes and something happened at the Dollar Tree, it's always a fight. They're not known for fighting like Waffle House. Waffle House, they throw down in there. On the food and the fight. They throw down. But in Dollar Tree, normally it's like an old lady running the counter, and then some person will come in and don't like the price being $1.25 versus $1, and starts a lot of craziness. So we're gonna see what happened at the. Hold on. Got going. Special shouts, Don't Stop Comedy in the chat as well. My man Dark Mark. Haven't seen you in a minute, man. I got to get you back on the show. Things have been so serious lately. It's tough to get the comedy parts going. Oh, everybody got so serious on me. Hey, lighten up, folks. But anyway, so apparently this is the clip here says when Dollar Tree turns to Drama Tree. I don't know what's going to happen here, but it looks like it's about to be every time they show.
Bro, if you don't move your crusty ass fucking hand out my fucking face, get your crusty ass fucking fingers out my face before I break your finger.
You gonna run yourself out, you holding up the damn line.
Yeah.
Okay, go somewhere.
Man, it's gonna make no damn thing she'll brought your ass around that woman's face. Good please. Get your motherfucking hands on that goddamn floor.
Yo, the old lady in the back is tripping me out. Whoever that is, she might be the one filming. Now, let's just pick a few things apart here. Definitely came out with her Sunday's best on to go to the Dollar Tree. And here's what my question is. We've got beauty on the t-shirt, but we got basketball shorts. So this is obviously not a guy, but sort of. So the presentation already means fight. Like when you show up somewhere like this, you are ready to fight. So you got to be careful when these people are around that are dressed like this because they are ready to fight at any point in time, okay? So I don't know. This lady at the counter seems like she got her guard down. Might want to, hey, back up. You're in my personal.
Around that woman's face. Good please. Get your motherfucking hands on that goddamn floor.
You clearly saw me in line.
No, now somewhere. How about my back?
We're waiting. Like I said.
It's not even worth it, man.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh, you just gonna let her do it?
You on camera, so you going to jail. You going to jail.
Did she just really dump the trash out on the? When you don't know what you want to do, like you're just looking for something to get into, you start to do some stuff that's funny to me. It started with she just grabbing bags and all that. She don't know what to do. She wants to be destructive, but she's not exactly sure how to do it. So she took the trash and just threw the trash on the floor. just to mess the place up, just to give this woman that's at the counter and whoever else is working there more work to do when she finally leaves. Now, the lady at the counter, I'm going to say this. What you ain't going to do is be reaching all up on the counter and all. No. Nope. I'll tell you what. She said, well, you on camera, so you going to jail. How about if you do that, we'll be on camera and you're going to go to jail and the hospital messing with me. Because she did push the lady to the side, did throw the stuff that was at, hey, you can stand your ground on that. Hit her with the credit card machine. Not advocating violence. I'm just saying there's available things there that could change the situation. All right? Oh.
Damn! Really? Wow, that's crazy. Oh my God.
In anything with some bare slippers on. Y'all see these slippers? Do you see the slippers? She must have like a bear's foot, like a hoof. Got like a hoof, not a bear's foot, but what has a hoof? You know, stuff with the hoof. She has a hoof because if not, when you kick something metal, you would break your toe. She has a hoof. This is not a human being in this store right now. This is what happens if you let a wild animal run free in Dollar Tree. They will tear stuff up. That's what's going on. This is like if you set a deer loose in the Dollar Tree. What this lady doing too much. And I'm just, the fact that nobody's doing anything is also surprising to me. Like, did she come there by herself? Is there anybody with her that could be like, hey, stop? Nope.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh my God.
I got to clean that up, man. You're not doing this in my store.
Oh my God. Is the police on the way?
It seems like the police. Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Oh, tripping. But not.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Dog.
All right. Oh, wait. I just got to pause this for just a moment here. You guys realize this is all because the lady had to wait in line. She like cut in the line, and the lady at the register called the person behind her, like, no, next in line, and called the other person. And then this person got upset about that, and this is the result. Like, I don't know if there's any way to say this nicely, but this is some bullshit. First of all, wait in line. Don't cut in line, okay? But then, why go to jail over that? Like that dispute. You know, if you're going to go to jail for a good reason. Go to jail because your kid, somebody touched your kid or something. Like, go to jail for good things that have purpose. So when you're sitting in the jail and you tell somebody in the jail that story, they'll be like, you know what? I'd have been in jail too. But this story is somebody made me wait in line at Dollar Tree and I decided to cause like $1,000. I'm sorry. like $10 worth of damage. Because that stuff isn't that expensive. Now, I'm going to be real. It's probably about $100 worth of stuff. The point I'm trying to make is, why are people ruining their lives for these minimal beefs, minimal thoughts? All right, I had to wait in the line a little extra. Let me destroy the whole store. There's a sense of entitlement here that I can't quite put my finger on. I don't know why it's there. Why are you entitled to, one, cut in the line, and two, destroy the entire Dollar Tree if you don't get what you want? This is a parenting problem. I'm going to tell you right now. Whoever this person is, show me their parents, I'll show you their problem.
Wow.
Either that or lead paint. It could be lead paint.
Oh my God.
We'll let it finish out.
Oh my God.
Let her
Is
walk
the police on the
back
way?
into the store. Hey, Mark, is this, you know this,
Oh
you know
my
this
God.
girl? You know this girl, Mark?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Call the police again. 2 calls.
Wow.
At least
this is
that
crazy.
one
I don't
lady
even
tried.
want what I get. This is
Barefoot.
crazy, bro.
All right, that's a full-blown animal right there. Walking around barefoot, destroying stuff. That, like I said, that's what happens if you let certain wild animals into these places. They will destroy things. Bull in a china shop, that way. And the only person that tried to say or do anything was the one lady right here towards the end. You know what she said? Calm down. Which was probably the best advice anybody could have given her. But why they waited till she destroyed half the store, say something simple. Don't get it. Can y'all stand by and watch in the chat? This is you. You're in the Dollar Tree. Would you say something to the woman that's destroying everything in the Dollar Tree? Would you be bold enough to say something as simple as calm down? Because that's all this lady said, but at least she said something. Are you bold enough? Are you bold enough? I don't know, because that's a full-blown animal right there. When you kicking metal with your bare feet and it's not destroying your feet, you got the cloven hoof going on down there. Now, granted, the Dollar Tree doesn't normally attract the highest caliber of customers because the items are very cheap and it's made for people that don't have a lot of money. So you might get, certain groups of people that are a little less couth when you go in the Dollar. That still doesn't mean that you stand by, and just say something. Call her names or something. Sometimes when an animal's doing something and you gotta distract them by making a noise or whistling over here so they come over. Ooh. You got to do that sometimes. You got to give them something else to focus on. They just let this person just run freaking wild in there. That was stupid. So I feel bad that the people have to clean it up, but they knew they were going to have to clean it up the whole time. That's why you stop it. And they worrying about, well, I'm going to call the police again. Well, if they're not on their way already, the second call is probably not going to help. And I feel like the police have had to come to this Dollar Tree enough times that they're not in a rush to get there. They're like, you know what? When we get there, the last time we went there, somebody stole something. It was $2.50 worth of stuff. We had to go up there for $2.50 worth of stolen items. So, no reply said, leave the Dollar Tree and go to Dollar General. No, don't go. Well, this lady, don't go to the Dollar General because I go to Dollar General. So I don't want you in there. I don't. So nonetheless, guys, if you see stuff like this, don't just stand by. At minimum, you ain't got to touch nobody, but just being on your phone recording, to me, it just seems stupid because nobody gets to leave the store now because it's a crime scene. And whatever you went in there to buy, you're not buying right now because the cashier can't deal with you because the store is being destroyed. So honestly, I would have just walked out. Like as soon as that started happening, I'm going to just get up out of there. I don't want to have no parts of whatever is going to be a result of this. All I'm saying. All I'm saying. See something, say something. Peace. Okay, all right, cool. We're getting to something softer? Okay, we're getting to something soft. I don't know how I feel about what I'm getting covering. Because we're trying to keep the mood light. It's been too serious the last couple weeks. Our serious piece right at the end. So I'll switch it up on you at the end and blow your heads. But a person sent an interesting clip to me regarding pizza. Now, I know some of you guys are the fans, but this one I don't think you're gonna like. Okay? So in Brazil, there is apparently a pizza that is one of the most toppings ever. Guys, to see. So would you tell me? Yep. That's exactly what you think it is. It's ants. It's ants. Big ass, thick ass, fat butt ants. On a pizza. Looks like some decent cheese. Cheese look all right. I couldn't even pick these, like, and then eat the pizza if I didn't want them. But apparently in Brazil, ants is a topping. I thought it was AI at first because I couldn't believe that anybody would be out of pepperoni and have to resort to use ants to top their pizza. But hey, you know, I live in regular world.
Olha. Tá crocante, meu amigo. A Tana Júlia tá crocante, olha. Rasga calma mesmo, Júnior. Bota a pegada aí, ó. Isso é bom com a cervejinha, né, não? Oxe, tu é doido, moia. Vou botar a pegada. E aí, tu vai comer? Vai? Tu vai comer, Lavínia? Não, não acredito não, Lavínia.
That little girl right there, she the only one with sense at the damn table. She immediately was like, nope, plate empty as hell. I mean, she ain't eating nothing. If this is what y'all ordered, I'm not eating it. I'm gonna be hungry after this meal. She immediately was like, nope. And that seems to be the only pie on the table. Look at her, nope. The hands didn't come up. Move the plate in that direction. Nope, it's not happening. So let's let it finish out. So the mother got no sense. Everybody else got no sense. The little girl in the blue, the only one that got sense.
Tu vai comer, Lavínia? Não, não acredito não, Lavínia. Tu não vai comer uma pizza tão largura, não? Mas por quê? Minha filha, isso aqui é melhor do que picanha. Você não tá entendendo, não. E ainda é mais caro, viu? Ainda...
No, she pulled one off and ate it by itself. This is ridiculous. I mean, did they at least salt them or roast them or something? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where and what scenario I would be eating fat ass ants off of a pizza. Picks one right off of the joint.
Ainda... Como? Ainda é mais caro, meu amigo, do que camarão e picanha. Tu é doido, é só de garanhuns, viu? Olha. Como a bunda dela é lá, minha data na jura. Isso é uma delícia, você não tá entendendo não, boy. Eu vou botar a pegada agora, viu? Eita, restaurante topado aqui e pizzaria do chefe.
All right, I don't know what he was saying, but it said something about pizza and douche in the last sentence. Maybe it needs to be. And yes, I'm going to leave this image up here so you guys can have your stomachs turned. I had to watch this. I do this for you. So if you're ever in Brazil, I don't know what this topping is called. I don't know. No reply put anchovies in the chat, which is a pretty good one. Pretty good one. I'm just wondering, like, do they have any other toppings available? Or is this just what their pizza's like? Like, they got one that's got roaches on it. They got one that's got ants on it. Another one that's got, like, rat poop or something on it. Like, is that how they just get down at this spot? I don't know, but it's in Brazil. So if you're ever in Brazil, I will have to find out what this pizza spot is called. But I wouldn't eat here, okay? Even if I'm eating pepperoni, ants might have got on the pepperoni pizza. Now, sometimes stuff be touching. They don't even have meat. So I don't know. I don't know. All right, I'll pose a question to you. If this was the only food available for 100 miles, right? And you had no vehicle, horse, car, or otherwise, to get to any other food, would you eat? Have to walk 100 miles to eat something else. Well, I would have to say, I might pluck a few of them off. Okay, I'll pluck them off. If that's the only food for 100 miles, I'll pluck off the ants. I'll close my eyes. I'll pluck off the ants. I will eat. But I won't order this. Okay? I won't order it. You guys will eat it. You tell me in the chat if you. Is there anybody in the chat that would actually eat this? Anybody? Trying to see who our risk takers are. So I can put you on a challenge. You tell me what really happened. Nobody's willing. You guys are scared. guys are scared. You scared of some little ants, huh? And I'm sure, Al, you're right. They're probably full of protein. That's what they always say about something nasty. Isn't that what they always say about something nasty they want you to put in your mouth? And it's full of proteins and minerals. Yeah, but it's poop. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, some of y'all, no reply. This is why you have random information, because of your life experience. Accidentally ate an ant, so now you know what an ant tastes like. See, I haven't eaten an ant. I've eaten a fly by accident before that literally flew in my mouth as I was trying to eat. And he flew around for a second, but he didn't last long, because, you know what I'm saying? So he just became part of the cuisine as it went down. Stomach acid took care of it. But yeah, I wouldn't eat it. I would just pluck them off. And even then, there's probably like little ant pieces still on there, and you know what it is. Not pepper, you know what it is. So you kind of got to get past it. That's why I'm saying I'd have to close my eyes and just forget about it for a second. That's just me. Y'all want to do it, y'all do what y'all do. No from me. Absolute no. All right, let's have our fun with our AI so we can get into our other half here. You guys know who Rizbot is? Don't know who Rizbot is. Rizbot, to me, is what would happen if allowed to just program robots to do whatever they want to. So I'm going to show y'all Rizbot. It's only a 30-second clip. Apparently, they programmed some sound effects into a robot. Now he goes out on the street. Basically makes people laugh. And I love comedy, so I'm not mad about this. As long as the robot doesn't get out of line and start, like, roping people. You know, robot grip got hydraulics, so start grabbing ass, pop a cheek out there. So let me show you Rizbot. We'll talk about it, then we're going
Let me get your handshake.
Shut your bitch ass up!
Come on, no way. Are you being disrespectful? She's kicking? Who's controlling this thing? Maybe I should kick it down. Let's see how far you can go when I kick you. Give me a hand. Who's controlling this thing? You can come here, bitch ass. He can live there!
Yo, the spin at the end, though. All right, so Rizbot is apparently going viral right now. This video alone has 5.8 million likes. Wow. I hate to say it. Rizbot, a robot, has 1.4 million followers on TikTok. That is absolutely crazy. But all right, so they literally just make these clips of Rizbot randomly doing things.
What are you gonna do about it, bro? Yeah? So pull up then. Hey, I'm Jake. Would you like a compliment or an insult?
Let me get a compliment.
Yo, my homie. You're straight Shane with that orange shirt on. Foot across the chest is cold as hell. You got that drip locked down. No cap. That silver watch on your wrist is straight ice. Keeping it solid for real. You look like a laid-back teenager, but that's what makes you the boss. Got that gangsta swag, my G.
Yo. So nonetheless, this is what's next. We're going to start having our own little robots, and we'll program them to do and say the thing. Rizbot is pretty well known, as you can see. And it's really just more for the comedy of it, because you could take the same robot and create like a death machine. Just being honest. So I guess if you're going to reprogram it to do something, and it's supposed to be nice, funny, even though it was a little A little mean to that first lady. So maybe we shouldn't train Rizbot to be. Rizbot's supposed to be. I don't know. Y'all the ones that are going to be doing it. This is going to be us. In 10 years, everybody's going to have a robot about this that they use for things. Whatever it is. It might be to help household chores, hold up the car when you're changing the tire. I don't know, but everybody's going to have one. Just like the computer that started with only the government had them, and now they're in every home. And suffice to say, they're also your hand. Computer that used to be take up a whole room, put the processing together. Now it's in the palm of your hand. So yes, we're all going to get Rizbots. So when your time comes, get your Rizbot. Please be careful at what you train it to do. Obviously, write the commands and the codes of these fit parents that you. So it's remote controlled with a person talking through a mic. And of course they hit certain sound effects and stuff like that. But Rizbot is just one bot. Riz is the old school version. They got the new school version that is not necessarily controlled at all times. Can be controlled, but I'm telling you right now, you might be correct, no reply. It could just be a person talking through. But we've seen Optimus robot. We didn't know what was up with Optimus at the Tesla thing. But the point I'm trying to make is this is the world that we're walking into. It's not going to go backwards. It's not going to be like, a year from now, all of a sudden, all these robots just disappear and nobody has them anymore and nobody's trying to sell the new one. No, they're just going to progress the same way computers did until it becomes a price point, let's say $1,000, $2,000. You got one in the house. It's got speakers on it, like it walks around and plays theme music for you. When you walk in the street, got theme music playing behind you. I would have a robot I would have a theme music robot. When I walk, it plays different things. James Brown, whatever I'm feeling that day. But I don't know. But I hear you no reply. Rizbot is a bot. But what I'm saying is Rizbot is the early version of what we're going to have later. Robots that can be programmed and sent out. Go run errands. Like I'll have a robot go, get me a soda from the gas station or whatever. Send it out there and it's got GPS and it's got, a card or something that it can use to scan and pay for items. Bill you as the owner. We won't even have to leave the house. Now follow me if you follow me, but I'm telling you, this is the world we're walking into. So Rizbot is just a comedic segment that we get in the beginning. It's funny at first, but then it'll be different if you're out on the street and you're just walking down the street. There's robots walking past you at the same time. Some of them will be nice, some of them won't be, but they will be. Stop acting like you don't see this coming. It's right here. Why they're putting all the money in the AI data centers, all of that. It's all about the deal with China, who of course is probably gonna make all the parts. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I think if you can program it to do whatever you need it to do. Like I said, for me, I would need one to do store runs. Go get me a Coca-Cola. Come right back, and I'll have it do a double time, be running. Imagine you see a robot running down the street. Wow. I want one. Well, you know what? Everybody will have one. And eventually the robots will start beefing with each other. That's what I think will happen. But nonetheless, you get my point. I just wanted to give you guys a little taste of what's going on. Old school, because this is old now. Rizbot is old now. Optimus is the new thing. And they got this, what's the Chinese car company? Starts with a, can't think of it right now. Not Honda. Honda's Japanese. I or something like that. They got a robot. And they make cars. So what they're supposed to do is somehow make it so that the robots can drive the car. Working on that. So you go buy a car, you get a robot with the car. So if you want to sit in the passenger seat, because fully autonomous driving by the car by itself wasn't working correctly. So they decided if we put a body in there, on a second amount of scanning and reacting, then it'll be safer. So they're putting robots in the cars. Hold up, no reply said he got Ed 209 riding around his building. You don't know who Ed 209 is? It's RoboCop Ed 209. You have 10 seconds to comply. That shit. So, yeah, I don't want Ed 209 rolling around. Ed 209 was tearing things up, for those that remember RoboCop. Already got Ed 209. And before we know it, they're going to be deploying them for the military stuff, and then the military guys will have on suits. All that shit we seen in Pacific Rim and all that stuff that was just science fiction, it's all just things they're working on in the lab. So I just find it interesting that Rizbot can have this much of a following, considering it's just a robot that somebody's talking through, and it gives people the middle finger and has a couple of sound bites. Like, that's not even really that cool of an idea if you really write it out. But enough people just want to be entertained that's, hey, I want my own Rizbot. And before you know it, they're going to have them take that tax return and get you a Rizbot. Anyway, I'm done with Rizbot. All right, what do we have here? So, all right, we got the caption says, delivering a load to a Karen. That's not quite accurate. Delivering a load to a Karen. So apparently a gentleman encounters a Karen. Got to watch out for these, okay? They exist in places that you wouldn't normally expect them to be. You're minding your own business. You're doing your job. And then one of these wild Karens out in the street come up to you, say some outlandish shit. You don't even know how to respond. You're looking for help. No help to be found. So apparently this driver was doing his job delivering gas, was Karenized. What happened? No reply. I'm glad that we do not have chat replay. That's the stuff they come back to you for and say, you allowed your people to talk about these things. As if I got control over what people type into. But yes, that's how the Tizoob likes to do it. They like to come back later and pull up something that somebody wrote in the chat and then blame me for it, like I did it. Anyway, I see what you're saying. There's a whole nother set of robots that'll be for that. Working on those in China right now. All right, so let's see about this Karen delivery.
Really? You're being recorded. What's up? I'm here to do my job. This is feller.
You are in the way, sir.
I'm in the way.
Sir,
I'm delivering gasoline, man. You can just swing out of me.
Hey, do your fucking job better. Not that hard. You're being recorded, you fucking cunts.
Look at this. Truck is definitely in the way, sort of.
Here to deliver my load. What's going on?
So, my guy said, I'm here to deliver my load. What's going on? So, I'm trying to see what the options are. Because, you know, I like to avoid the conflicts, especially with Karens, because they're a wild bunch. But where the woman is parked, she can't back up because there's a car behind her. Could come out, turn around the other gas pump, and go out the back way. That's what he was saying. But because of where he's parked, yeah, she can't get out right there. The question is, was she parked there when he pulled up, or did she pull up when he was parked there? Because that changes the whole thing. If she was parked one place and pulls up and blocks her in, okay, I get that. But if he was already offloading gas there, she pulls up at the pump, then realizes, oh crap, this truck is in front of me. Now she wants the gas truck to move. The gas truck. She's driving it herself. I can move that myself. Why are you going to move the gas truck? You can't move the gas truck as easy as move your Tercel. Go move your Tercel. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I would love for Karen to be right sometimes, but she'd be wrong. She could easily make that turn, go around the other side, and get out of there. Instead of making this dude, what she wants him to do is unhook gas stuff he's doing. Put that away, yeah. Then back the truck up just so she can get out. That's it. That's all she wants. All she wants is for the world to revolve around her. What's your problem, driver?
I'm here to deliver my load. What's going on?
Oh, David! We have to go! I want to go see my godkids! This is bullshit!
I feel bad for David. You about to get in the car with that? Oh, you slamming my doors too, like a gorilla on a football field?
Wow.
Is giving David the business car right now. Why didn't you say something, David? This is why I don't like you, David. This is exactly why I don't like you, David. You see, he's being an asshole, and he was being an asshole to me, and you didn't say anything. I want to see my god kid, because I love them. But yeah, she's giving David the business right now. I feel so bad for David. David, No Reply has put in our chat something that a lot of people should know, which is you're not supposed to get gas at the gas station while the people are refilling the gas. Now, that is somewhat true, and the reason why is because when the things are open, there's air that gets in there, and you end up getting less gas than you think you're getting. That, and when the gas is that low, there's sediment at the bottom, and sometimes that pulls up into the gas pumps as well. So if you see the truck is there, that means the gas was low, and so you don't want to get that sediment stuff into your car. So there is definitely some truth to that. I will say this. If you're in a pinch, you got to get gas, I ain't got time to wait for this guy to drop his load, okay? Every once in a while, I've had to do this, pull up, there's a truck there. Hey, I only had enough gas to get to this gas station. So it is what it is. But yes, No Reply is correct. You're not supposed to be getting your gas at the gas station while the gas is being. That's for your pockets. Okay? Also, I have heard that because the gas thing is open, it's more susceptible to flame and explosion and stuff like that. So you want to stay away during that time for that. So there's plenty of reasons not to be there. But this looks like a Valero gas station, which is normally like the cheapest gas in the area. That's probably why everybody was there. All the pumps were full. Well, maybe not all of them, but there was at least 3 or 4 pumps with people at them. So none of those people knew about not going to the gas station when they're filling up the gas. All I'm saying. Nonetheless, I feel so bad for this guy, David. The funny part is David thought he said something slick. Did y'all hear David say the slick line? When the guy said, I'm here to deliver my load, David was like, well, you delivered it. Let me let y'all hear that again. Because it was a corny comeback, but it was actually pretty funny. Might have missed it.
I'm here to deliver my load. What's going on?
Oh, David! We have to go! I want to go see my godkids! This is bullshit!
Poor David.
Wow.
Poor David.
Wow.
David, get her out of there. Anyway, if you guys have a lady like this, you got to get rid of her. I'm sorry. I know that might be harsh because it's tough out here. Tough to find somebody to be with. But I feel like David is not happy. He is not happy. He was so mad that this happened, not because of the load thing, but he knew he was about to have to hear this for the rest of the trip. All because the gas delivery guy was parked at the gas. David's life is horrible. You need to watch David. David be the one that's wild out at work. Snap. What he deals with every day. Wakes up to this. Right? How's to David, man? Hope you're going to be all right. So anyway. Why? What we got? Okay. Oh, we're doing bad parents. Okay, cool. We got bad parents now. Perfect. Love bad parents. I don't mean I love bad parents, but I like doing segments of bad parenting because it's always fun. So in this particular, it's actually pretty. Looks like a kid went ding dong ditching, and he went ding dong ditching with his dad. Yes, that's what it says. Went ding dong ditching with dad. Now I don't know about you guys, but I've never committed any ding dong ditching or capers at all with my okay. Any criminal activity or nefarious or mischievous activity that I commit when I was a young person. My dad was never around for it. He was always the one to deliver the discipline but doing it. But he was never actually the guy. Okay? I would love to if I could find these. Might be staged. I don't know. Find out.
Oh crap.
What do you... Can I help you?
No.
What are you doing here?
I'm really sorry. I was going to ding dong ditch you guys. I'm super sorry.
Did your dad know you're out here doing this? I will call him right now.
Yeah, he does know.
I doubt that.
What's the hold up?
I've been caught!
Is that your dad?
Yeah.
He goes ding dong ditching with you?
Yeah, he says it's a core childhood memory and he wants to be a part of it.
Run!
Okay. Gotta go!
Are you kidding me?
Now, this may be staged. It may be. But I will say this. It is the cornerstone of upbringing. If you were a young man coming up in my time, we didn't play video games. Like, that happened later. We didn't have video games to play all day. As a matter of fact, games ended. Like, you would play the game and beat it. It was over with. You're done. Now you give it to your friend and let them do it. But we used to do ding dong ditching. And I'll tell you about my last experience doing it. I was in, I used to live in an apartment complex, and me and my friends ran out. Used to mess with this, there was this maintenance guy, right? And this maintenance dude, he was kind of a jerk. Like, you know, he would tell us to stay off the grass and like all this stuff. But we're kids. We're like 12, 11, 12 years old, running around the neighborhood. And this maintenance dude used to always bother us. So what we would do, this is where it started, right? We used to go, he was like on like a second floor apartment. I know I'm telling on myself, but there's no statute of limitations. So I could tell this story. Basically, he had like a second level apartment, and you could see into his living room, basically, right? And he had a TV right there with the cable box on the top with the red numbers. And a lot of people didn't know that the cable box remotes were universal. So if you had the same cable, you could be outside of somebody's house changing the channels and messing their head up. So that's where it started. We started with changing his channels and like scaring them with that. We would find something at my boy's house like that was on, like Creepshow or some weird ass movie or something, and then go outside of his house and changed it to that channel that was showing some spooky stuff, right? So, you know, it went from that. Then it became, we decided that we were going to ding-dong ditch this guy, right? Now, of course, we had a different name for it. Back then it was called nigga knocking, but it's the same thing. So we decided to do this, but like I said, this guy had a second floor apartment, so it wasn't an easy escape once the ditching has commenced, right? I knocked on this dude's door, and we did one of them things where we did it once and we left, got away with it, and then decided to come back and try it again on the same person. Let me tell you what, I didn't know this dude was this fast. He came out that door like freaking Usain Bolt in socks. Like, we're taking off running, right? This dude got socks on. He chased me down among two other friends. He grabbed all three of us at the same time. And then let me tell you what he does. He's looking us in the face and he just goes, ugh, and then goes back in the house. Now, let me tell you what. I don't know what that meant, but it got the point across. We never ding-dong ditched or we used to call it remote controlling. It was a pretty cool phrase because that's what we were doing. We just run around the neighborhood and mess with people. But this is what we used to do in the 80s, in the 90s. Yes, we didn't have other things to do. We used to do this. It'd knock on doors. So for those of y'all that didn't experience this wonderful time as a child, you know, I wouldn't have done this with my son, but I could see, like, if my son did this, I wouldn't be like, oh man, this is kind of a thing that we all. But today's world, y'all remember the story I did last week? Some kids was ding-dong ditching and got shot by the homeowner. So, not the fun pastime that it used. Be careful out there, kids. If you decide to be ding-dong ditching, I would recommend you go do it in a nice neighborhood. Okay? I'm going to do it at all. No reply saying over here. No reply. It's tough to keep up with your comments. Because my comment window is very small. I got a whole, you know, OBS and all types of stuff going. So the chat window that I see is actually pretty. 3 chats up, I miss it. So special shouts to No Reply in the chat. Special shouts to Al, Dora. Who else was in? Don't Stop Comedy, Stop Through. No. Shouts to you. Okay, so those videos were staged, but I'm all about staged if it's funny. I like funny. I think we don't have enough funny. Funny's getting canceled, and so we don't have enough funny because people can't press the envelope. You know? But I think funny is funny. I did the for those that don't watch the shorts from this channel, we had the short with Drewski and Whiteface, and I had a couple of Caucasian folks come through and comment on that video and basically say, hey, I thought it was hilarious. So the idea that they were trying to cancel this man, they didn't understand it. And they're Caucasian, but they thought it was funny. So I think, you know, laughter being the one language that we can all understand, that really is serious. We need to laugh more. Definitely need to laugh more. Now, I don't know what this is about to be. It doesn't seem like it's going to be funny. It says there, was this Reddit? No, this was on. But apparently there was an attempt at parenting horribly. I'll tell you right now, Drewski, I wasn't even a fan of Drewski. I'm not going to say a fan. I just really didn't know who he was. But I think some of his sketches and skits, I think he deserves a show. I think he should do a show, get a couple of the other sketch comedy folks that actually do some physical comedy, not just or like the streamer guys, not those guys, like actual that are funny. I think they should give him something a little. I seen him on the gambling commercials. So they're giving him gambling commercials. Give the man a little show. I mean, he had his own thing, but I'm talking about put him on one of the networks, kind of like how they did Chappelle's show. Give him a Netflix show or something, you know? What it does, give him a season. Doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think he deserves a chance. I think he's funnier than Kevin Hart and some of those other industry types. I think Drewski's pretty funny. I do. So, nonetheless, there is, since we always like to cover the topic of bad parenting, the first skit, I don't know if that was bad parenting, because if you're going to have your kid ding-dong ditching under parental guidance, at least you know that they're not going to get hurt out there because you're there in case somebody decides to try to hurt your kid. So, although it was a bad idea, it was probably the safest way to do it was to go ding-dong ditching with you. Interesting parenting style, but this one seems a little different. It looks like a little girl. You know what? I'm gonna just bring it over here. It says that some girl says they feel bad. Anybody who has like, oh, gotta love the Reddit feed. All right, so this young lady is apparently talking to somebody on the internet.
Insinuating. You came home and girl, you about to, woohoo! Girl!
I mean, I just came home.
Chloe.
I just came home.
No, Chloe, I just asked
and
you.
I've been out like all day.
Okay, so what you want? Some fucking sympathy?
No, I'm just saying, like, I came home and you're like coming at me.
No, I'm not coming at you.
Moving my phone because I just sat in bed.
Honey, I asked you how you were, and then before you left, I said I wanted to talk to you about Jenna, and you were like, why? Because I yelled at her? Did she say I yelled at her?
And like, she basically just said that I did, and I didn't.
No, I said, did you?
And I said no.
And then you left.
Yeah, and I said no. And now you're saying that I started an argument with her when we can watch the film back. I didn't. I didn't even get a chance to explain.
You're so innocent. Your tone is always so kind.
It was when I spoke to her, yeah.
So nice.
Yeah, it was. And I didn't even get a chance. I still haven't even gotten a chance to like fully even say what happened. Like I keep getting cut off. So
yeah, so do I. How's it feel?
I was saying,
how's it feel?
I was saying
eye contact.
I was saying, oh Jenna, you know, you kind of texted me an hour before I have to pick you up, and I didn't get a confirmation if I was picking you up or not. You know, I wasn't sure. You kind of texted me an hour before. And
you said all that in a text?
No, this was in the car when I was driving her. She says I started an argument.
I didn't say she said you started. I said you've yelled at her in the past.
No, you came in here saying, "Oh, you're starting an argument with your sister," but I never.
Well, you're doing something. You're pissing her off.
Well, she just didn't like what I had to say.
Well, I don't like what you have to say.
Doesn't mean I started an argument though. Just because she doesn't like what I had to say doesn't mean that I started an argument. So I had said.
All right, I'm gonna pause this for a moment because I too have dealt with teenagers. And I will say this young lady seems to be, at least right now, she's being very respectful. She's not raising her voice, not cussing. It seems like this would be the kind of kid you could have a conversation. The argument seems to be over her being upset with her sister for telling her at the last moment that she has to pick, which I hate when people do that to me. If I got to pick you up or you need me to pick you up and you tell me at the last minute that I got to do it, I'm going to be upset. Now, I may not yell at you all loud and be cussing you out, but I don't know. If this girl could be Jekyll and Hyde, but she just doesn't seem crazy like that. Like I'm sure she expressed her opinion, but I don't think it was like she was threatening or trying to kill anybody. I don't know, man. It just seems like she's so relaxed in it. Just, I don't know.
Chloe, stop it!
Said, you're like cutting me off.
Stop it! Stop
You're cutting me off.
Stop it, Chloe.
I had said
Stop
to her.
Stop it, Chloe. I'm done. I don't want to hear your side. How about that? I don't want to hear your side.
Okay.
I'm not interested in what you have to say.
Okay.
Because you just are determined to just continue talking when I'm asking you to stop.
Well, you keep cutting me off.
No, you keep cutting me off, bitch.
I don't
have to be monotone. You're fake. You're monotone and you're fake. That's your way of just being like monotone because you know, and you don't realize that that's fake bullshit right there. And I'm really calm, and you're the one that's going off, and I'm really calm. Don't try to use your reverse psychology.
How am I being fake by being calm?
No, it's your tone, it's your mannerism, it's all of that. It's that whole little thing.
This is just how I am right now.
That is not who you are.
I mean, how I am.
That is not who you are.
I'm having an adult conversation.
You don't, girl. You are not an adult.
I'm having an adult conversation.
No, you're not. 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 No, you're not.
So if you're taking my calmness as fakeness, I'm sorry you're taking it that way, but I'm just having a calm conversation.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Oh, I don't feel any kind of way right now.
Good. Well, I just think that you're just disrespectful. You're better. You should have been gone.
I am so confused.
There it goes. Okay.
You're entitled to feel that way.
Shut the fuck up.
Yo.
How about that? Shut the fuck up. How about that? How about that?
And what else you want, Ma?
Was there anything else that you wanted to ask?
You wanted to ask, Mom? Is there anything you
wanted to ask? Well, I mean, you said you were done, so...
I don't want to hear your side of the story.
Yeah, so, I mean, was there anything else that you wanted to add? Because it is getting a bit late, and I do have a...
Yeah, I gotta go to work, and I'm sitting here dealing with you and your bullshit right now.
Go to work, then!
And your bullshit attitude right now. Your condescending attitude right now.
I'm not even being condescending.
You're condescending.
How?
You're condescending. You're condescending. You're a condescending girl.
How am I condescending?
Then figure it out. Go figure it out. Go figure it out. You don't know what condescending means, and if you don't know what insinuating is and what motions you do to insinuate something, then you gotta go look that shit up yourself. I can't help you. I can't help you. You gotta figure that shit out on yourself because you don't know what it means. I can't help you. Put the gas in the car. The money that you were gonna give, put it in the car.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, Chloe. Good night, honey. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. You're welcome.
Okay. All right. You know, there's a lot to unpack here, guys. There's a lot to unpack here. Wasn't expecting what I saw here. One ding dong segment. Like I said, I don't know this young lady, but I would say that calling her the B and saying F you, all of that, just didn't seem necessary in this conversation. She wasn't being combative at all. And then later on, when this girl is all traumatized out in the world, and we're wondering where it came from, this is the video. This is how she deals with stuff. It's obvious the mother has a favorite when it comes to the other kid, because I don't like when people call me at the last minute to pick. So my peoples would have understood me being upset by that. But I see what you're saying, no reply. I don't know for a fact that this woman is a single mother, but I do know that she's an asshole. Okay? And I'm not talking about the girl in the picture. She, like I said, she could be acting. She could be acting. But if a person acts like this, you have to follow suit. If a person starts talking lower and calmer, you got to meet them there, especially if it's your child. If your child is talking calm, you can't be yelling at them and calling them a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And then what happens when she calls you that back? Now y'all going to be fighting. Them's fighting words. So I'm just, there's some real issues going on out there because this just happens to be a recording of an interaction that these people had. But unfortunately, this is also part of society as we know it. There are parents that do not like their kids. And I don't mean not like them because they're, dirty or they left their laundry around. Like, internally don't like them. And a lot of times it has to do with a past relationship and the child looks like that person that you're not with no more and you can't talk to that person or say nothing to that person, so you take it out on the kid. This story repeats itself over and over and over and over. So we don't know where extra anger is coming from the mother to the daughter. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's not coming from at least this interaction. Girl's not being disrespectful, not saying anything out of place. She is being very monotone, which is like, how can you be mad at that? Because you're not yelling at me. You're being respectful. No reply is breaking it down. How you worried about this girl going to get gas and you're working a night shift and the daughter's picking up the other kid? Those are the actions of a single parent. Yes. You make an interesting point there, because if there's a dad, one or two of those tasks would have been taken care of by the dad and not the daughter. So you're right. So I feel like might be onto something. Maybe this little girl is a product of her father that the mother doesn't like, because she's responding to her as if she's saying something totally different than what I'm hearing. Like, she's literally must be hearing something different than what I'm hearing. This young lady seems like she's kind of calm. And so unless they were yelling 2 seconds before she started recording, then I would venture to say that this is just how she be talking to her. Her name is Chloe. So I hope Chloe's okay. And I hope Chloe's okay in 15 years. Because this kind of stuff traumatizes you. If this is where you're learning to parent, it's from your parents. So if this is what you get, she could either become the same thing and worse, or she could just be like, I'm going to let my kids do whatever they want to do, because I remember my mom was just an asshole all the time. I'm not going to tell the kids no, and then she ends up spoiling the crap out the kids, and they become unproductive citizens. So there's a lot of ways this thing could go. I will say this. I hope for the best for society. This is what we're doing to our next generation because we're upset with the person that we created the child with. I hate that story, but it's such a frequently occurring story where a parent is just upset because they're not able to really control the other parent, so they take it out on the kid. Tell the kid, I hate you, I don't love you, I wish you were dead. Like, they say some crazy stuff. I've met parents like that. Very sad. And then don't try to tell them that they need to calm down. That just makes it worse. Say, hey, don't talk to the kid like that. Calm down. They will lose it. Who are you to tell me how to raise my kid? Who are you to tell me how to talk to my kid? It'd be your kid too, though. You're like, well, hold on, this is my kid too. Anyway, I'm going to let that go. But I just feel bad because I know unless I'm just a fool and this kid was cussing mama out 2 seconds before she pressed record on this thing, the response she was getting was like she's the adult and the mother is the child. That's what that felt like. I don't know. I don't like that. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was going to be that. I thought it was going to be more. I thought it was going to have humor. That wasn't funny at all. All right. Oh, I get it now. Okay, I see why it wasn't funny. We were past the part of the show. So the last piece of the show, which is where we are now, was the non-funny. No humor in it. It was concepts, principles, things of that nature. We're going to get into our last leg of the race here. Got 2 more stories to cover. One of them is a really interesting for our WTF segment. So those who have never been to the channel before, WTF stands for, well, that's Florida. So I am going to bring you guys to short from the one and only Grady. I don't know who Grady Judd is. He's sheriff of Polk County in Florida. And he's always on TV. He's always got cool sound bites and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring over Grady Judd to explain the changes that have happened. Sorry, guys. Scene over here. Make sure you hit the damn like button if you're sitting there waiting. Hit it. It's right there. Tap it. Actually, I think you can double tap screen too. On the vertical. if you're on the vertical. I'm pretty sure everybody's on the vertical. I tried to direct everybody to the vertical, but no reply loves to go on to the horizontal, which is fine because that's why I provided for those that watch the horizontal. But for the rest of you,
Hello everyone, Sheriff Grady Judd here. The First District Court of Appeal in the state of Florida has ruled that our law prohibiting open carry is not valid. That's right. So effective September 25th, if you open carry a firearm in Florida in a public place, it's okay. Here's some things that you need to remember. First and foremost, I'm an advocate of the Second Amendment. I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment. I'm a fan of the Second Amendment. So exercise your Second Amendment rights. But it's important to remember a few things. Understand the law. For example, even with the ruling by the court where you can open carry firearms, as well as the law that allows you to carry firearms concealed, you can't do it in government buildings. You can't do it at colleges. You must understand the law. You need also to understand the law about stand your ground. I've seen well-meaning people end up in jail because they pulled a firearm or used a firearm in violation of the law, thinking they knew what they were talking about. So please, if you carry a firearm, be proficient. Go to the range. Know how to use it. Know how to safely carry it. And with open carry, you lose the surprise element. Everyone knows you have the firearm. And you may be a target of someone who wants to steal your firearm. So personally, I like carrying a firearm concealed, and you can in Florida. But I also understand that some people want to openly carry firearms, and they can. Now, when it comes to private businesses, for example, any private business, any private residence, you can be restricted from carrying your firearm openly or concealed there. So, here's what happens. If you go to a private business or to someone's residence and you're asked not to carry the firearm, you have to leave with it. If you stay there, then you're committing armed trespass, which is a felony. So please, we love our Second Amendment, but it does come with some restrictions of when and where and how. So learn the law. We're going to provide some state statute numbers for you to read and be aware of.
So y'all get the gist. Those who live in or visit Florida, they're going to go to open and concealed carry, exception, I guess, businesses that have signs in the windows, of course, schools, colleges, things like that, and government buildings. So anything where you got to go through a metal detector, airports, going into, let's say, the courthouse. Going to the courthouse, then you're definitely going to not be able to bring. So I feel like this is a bad idea, but it's only because I don't trust people. It's not the firearms. I've told y'all how I feel about guns. Guns do not kill anybody. Guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people. The problem is the people, not the guns. So I believe in the Second Amendment for that part in and of itself, because the gun itself is not the problem. It's the mentality of the person wielding it. And if we had better mentalities and better morals, and we actually had value in human life and human experience, we wouldn't be so worried about guns being open carried. They're really supposed to be there in case somebody does want to do something nefarious and they look around and everybody's strapped. They may not want to do that if they want to walk away alive. So it's meant to be a deterrent. But, and also bigger but, there is absolutely, positively no data that supports a positive or negative in each direction. So in states that have open carry and things like that, there's no drop or significant enough drop in crime they can attribute it to the fact that people have guns. So it's a very up in the air debate because there's no hard evidence to say that it's good or bad. But what you can't deny is if somebody walks up into the Publix supermarket and decides they're about to wild out, and if everybody in aisle 3 got weapons, it's going to be a different turnout than other situations. Now, that's if the people with the weapons are well trained, which I think they need to couple this with that. Maybe since Florida is a open carry state, maybe they should have firearms training. I ain't say it. Maybe they should have it in school. Like when the kids are a little younger. I'm talking about, early high school, something like that, 10th grade. They got like a firearms training class, using blanks and stuff like that, non-lethal rounds, but just training them in trigger discipline and, shooting for center like, you know what I'm saying? Like actual training. I think if you're going to do that, you need to do it earlier. Don't wait till somebody's 65. They got their first gun. Now you're trying to train them how to use it. No, you need to teach people early. Okay. But the other thing is, I do also believe that some weapons should be reserved for the military. That makes sense. Like if you got a damn Gatling gun, the joint like Schwarzenegger had in Predator with the trigger on it and it spins and shoots like 1,000 rounds a second, you don't need that. Like what are you hunting with that? You know what I'm saying? What, whales? That's about all you can hunt with that. So certain weapons, I think, should not be for public use. I believe in that, but I don't believe that people shouldn't be allowed to own a nice Desert Eagle if they want to have one. You know what I'm saying? Or even a nice rifle. Nice deer hunting rifle, a 30-06, something like that. Something nice, bolt action with pow. That joint, feel that recoil hit your shoulder. Or just a little nice 9mm, 1911, something like that. There's nothing wrong with having a weapon. It's how you use it. Just like this internet. I tell people all the time, the internet's not the problem. It's how people use it. AI is not the problem. It's how people use it. So these are all weapons. So I will say this. I'm not big on just everybody walking around with guns, but I can understand that if everyone had discipline, it wouldn't be a problem. So my fear isn't the guns. My fear is the people with the guns. So we need to address those people. So I know Sheriff Grady Judd is definitely always packing something. And now most of the residents in Florida, unless you have, I didn't hear him say anything specifically about like felonies or anybody being restricted from purchasing a firearm, but I know that there are some background checks and things they put legal owners through in order to get firearms. But it didn't sound like he was like, yeah, only certain people can open carry or only certain people can have these firearms. So it sounds like he's opening it up for everyone. That to me is fair, so I can't be upset about that. But I will say I don't trust enough that open carry to me is safer. It just seems like there's a possibility that somebody might grab a gun they don't have. Like if a person is out, they're armed, and there's somebody else who's not armed, but now they have the option of taking your gun, and now they're armed. So if you didn't have the gun on you, they would take it. So like I said, it's a very slippery slope, but the problem still comes back to people and not the weapon. So for those people who are worried about gun violence, let me tell you what. In America, guns or people losing their lives by the way of guns is around 50,000 people. A lot of people. Here's something that you may not know. About half of that is people taking out themselves. So it's not a bunch of random gun violence. Half of the gun deaths have to do with people putting it to themselves, not someone being irresponsible or making mistakes or targeting them. That's something to keep. That means that half of the people that were doing that owned their own firearm and they were more of a danger to themselves than anybody. That's the other part, is putting the firearm in the wrong person's hand might take their own life. So like I said, slippery slope. slippery slope, but I'm all for the freedom of being able to protect yourself in a situation. So if that's what it takes in Florida, you'll be walking around with AR-15s and all that kind of stuff. I just worry that the police may not respond that well to that. Like if they see certain people walking around with a bunch of guns, they don't know if they're recently committed a crime or they don't know what's going on. He's just walking around with a lot of guns, and it doesn't seem like there's a conflict going on here. So that might start something too. They might start something where they like pulling up on people, say, let me see your permit, you know, like they would ask for ID, and arrest people for carrying without a permit. So that can be its own thing. But we'll see. We'll see. So Florida is now fully open and concealed carry state. Everybody who is over, I think it's 21 there. So go get your guns. And somebody told me Florida's going to be like the Wild Wild West. I don't believe it. I think Florida will be fine. Florida's too chill. There's too much sun and beaches and stuff. It can't be the Wild Wild West. Because if people started acting like that, somebody would say, hey, man, let's come down. Let's go to the beach. Chill out for a second. Go hit the strip. Calm it down. So, our last Al said they already had open carry. Then they stopped it. Law brought it back. Okay. Well, I know they had concealed carry in Florida, and that doesn't really seem problems. I guess open carry is supposed to be a deterrent. I get it. If you are a person about to do something bad and you see everybody else around you got guns, you might not want to do what you're about to do. It's an undebatable point. That point, I'm not going to debate that point. Because if I was going to do something nefarious and I walked into a store and everybody was armed, I'd be like, I'm going to go pick another store. So I can see that argument. Now, if there's all of a sudden a rise in gun violence in Florida, then they might have to come back to the table with it. But we've been already concealed carrying anyway, and there wasn't an uptick in violence based. Stand your ground law already existed. There wasn't an uptick in violence based. So I think that Florida will be fine. Oh, so now it used to be open carry while you were fishing. Now, were you fishing with a Gatling gun? I guess you could hit a bunch of salmon at the same time with a Gatling gun. But yeah, that's my only thing. I think certain weapons, just let the military in them. You don't need that. That's all. All right, well, let's get to our last serious topic, because this one was half serious. Get to our last serious topic. All right, so this one's going to be a little interesting for those that haven't been really following the news, because it's really hard to get certain news when events happen. Everybody starts talking about the same thing, and then a lot of stuff sort of falls through the cracks. So one of the things that had fallen through the cracks really was the point of this whole episode, but I just didn't want to talk about this was there was an executive order a few months back that Trump signed regarding changing the racial narrative of the United States, because he feels like the story of slavery make it seem like it was worse than it was. Now, I will say this. I wasn't there during slavery, but from what I heard, it was pretty bad. From what I've seen, I don't really know how you're going to highlight bright spots in there. You know what I'm saying? But what Trump wants is a nicer picture of American history. He doesn't want it to be white man evil, black man oppressed and beaten, so on and so forth. The same narrative that we all have heard. And I think I have a issue with it, and the issue is more so can't erase what already happened. But I don't really know if that's true. Because if you want to be honest, when slavery did happen, right? The first 3 generations of slaves were stripped of language, names, history. It only took 3 generations before now they had to try to figure out how to read a different language, speak a different language, and pass on principles that were slavery principles. Like massa was massa, what we do, so you pass it on to the child. The child is born, grows up, and dies a slave. And 3-4 generations into that, there's no connection to history of whatever those folks came from. And I believe that what they're trying to do now is something similar. It's a tough one because I'm an honest person, okay? And I would humor me here for a second. I could not say full confidence that if there was no recognition of slavery, like if, not slavery, but racism, like if we never came up with race, nobody was talking about race, if black and white wasn't a thing, if immigrants wasn't a thing, if it wasn't a thing, right? I believe that the world would be a better place. The problem is, it's already happened. So you can't try to erase it by changing the history. And what Trump was doing in the history, or with the history, is he's trying to make it more mild, okay? Because it makes certain folks look bad. I'm going to bring over an image. This is one of the main images that sparked me talking about this, because I remembered this image when I was a kid. Hey, if you're weak on the stomach, you won't want to see. Okay? Giving you about 5 seconds on the stomach. Turn away. So there's an image that's circulated many years from 1860, famous photograph called The Scourged Back. Never seen it. Oh, no reply. I appreciate you coming over to the vertical. You know, I like having somebody on the horizontal. It's there in case somebody wants to watch. And then if I do chops later of this live, it'll be in that form. It's really just so I have it on. Everybody seems to want the vertical for. I think the widescreen looks better. I don't know. So this situation, Trump administration has ordered the removal of a number of slavery national parks. This particular image of the scourged back is considered out of compliance with the new Donald Trump rules. This image was used, and they called it as propaganda, to make people think that slavery was worse than it was, so that they could recruit soldiers for the Union. So they would show people this image and say, hey, we don't want them to keep doing this to people. So join up and let's go defeat the rebels, right? But the point is, it did happen. The image was of a person who was a runaway slave, showed up to sign up for the military, and they were doing their physical. You know, they check you out, make sure you're able to be fit for duty. And what they did was they took the guy's shirt off. They see these lashes. And in every good slave movie, they always do this. You know, Roots, Django, they always throwing off the back, showing the lashes, because that is the mark of American history. Lashes across the back. And this image reminded people of such. So now, Donald Trump has decided, along with his administration, that they want to soften the image of American history by removing things, and removing things like Harriet Tubman's picture. Like, there's a lot of stuff. I'm going to bring it up. Pull my stuff up. Because there's a whole lot going on. It says that more than 30 exhibits at Harper's Ferry and other parks were reportedly deemed out of compliance from the executive order restoring truth. And so the internet is saying that they're trying to erase Black history. So let's just run the tape back a little bit. There was a point in time where they were saying that the books and stuff were too, like, woke, right? They were saying everything was too woke. That's where they started. They started with woke, came for woke first. Now they're coming for Black history. And I'm gonna go through some things with you. I did a little bit of research because I didn't want to pass judgment on the situation without actually knowing what was going on. Okay? So we are gonna pull up some stats. All right. So even though social media has speculated on the removal of this, the photo's core artifact status protects it under Smithsonian policy. And Trump is taking a shot at the Smithsonian. He said the Smithsonian is going too crazy. But the Smithsonian is a national museum, so they got their own rules. And the national parks action is real as well, but it's limited to non-Smithsonian. So they have 8 museums. National Museum of African Art, Asian Art Museum, and a couple more where they're going to be planning visits where I guess they point at stuff and say, take that down, take that down. So the interesting part about that is, let me run through a list of some things that have already been removed. All right, so we have the Scourge back photo located at the National Parks National Underground Railroad Network. And it's supposed to be removal of on-site signs, audio guides, digital displays explaining the photo's context. For example, whippings as evidence of slavery brutality. The photo itself remains in Smithsonian archives, but related park narratives are being scrubbed from the internet as well. Scheduled for full implementation by the end of September 2020. So that's just this image. We have the Woolworths counter sit-in exhibit, which was part of the been dismantled and stored. Artifacts were returned to lenders, example, civil rights group, so forth. The reason why this was taken is because it promoted and centered inherently conflicting narratives of progress. That was the reason why they removed that one. Greensboro sit-in, just a wooden stool, just to commemorate a sit-in. It's just a stool. It was removed from display and returned to the lender, and the audio on Jim Crow laws that would play when you would look at the display has also been deleted. That is part of the false revisionist history, focusing on the negatives rather than the positives. The reasons why they removed this, okay? Oh, here's one. Impeachment references to Donald Trump. That's in the National Museum of American History, Smithsonian, and the placard was removed. The exhibit was reverted to the pre-2021 version, covering only Johnson, Nixon, Clinton. Scheduled for a full update by October 2025 to include all impeachment neutrally. So this was for disparaging content that violates our values. Why they took references out of the. Okay. Shape of Power, Stories of Race in American Sculpture, which was sculptures, photos, panels on race as a social construct, which it is, and scientific racism like eugenics. They closed those exhibits, stored the texts, relabeled to focus on artistic merit, and they scheduled an expansion to review that later because it promotes American race as a social construct of disenfranchisement. That's why they removed that. Oh, trans non-binary athlete from the women's history display on gender and sport. Okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But anyway, that was removed and returned to the lender. Panels on gender identity were excised and are scheduled for permanent exclusion in new American women. So we've got hold on, we got some panels on white culture, or infographics on hard work, individualism, and nuclear family as elements of whiteness. So basically, it was panels say that white America focuses on hard work, individualism, and nuclear family, and those things are part of white culture. That was removed from physical and online displays and was archived. And apparently, that's a distorted view dividing American race. Here's another one that's really interesting. I think you guys would. And this list goes on and on. So if you didn't know, all this stuff has already been removed. And that's why I wanted to bring this up, just because while we're focusing on all these other weird things that are going on, they're making sure that a few generations from now, we won't have references to some of the things that built culture of Black American history. The Benjamin Franklin exhibit panel linking Franklin's science to his slave ownership. Those panels have been altered or removed. Emphasis shifted to events only. Scheduled for full review completion by November 25, part of the 8 museum overhaul. They removed the George Floyd film and said that this was a mischaracterization of police. Didn't, what's his name, still go to jail though? Weird. Okay. Star Spangled Banner display. Interesting. And that was focused on historical controversies like slavery's role in the War of 1812. Panels emphasizing failures and controversies were removed, placed celebratory content. So y'all are starting to see a pattern here. Moved and replaced, moved or relabeled, moved or overhauled. What it is not going to be is the same display that it was previously, and they will continue to do this. Any slavery-related signs and general markers on enslaved labor at parks like Independence Hall, Civil War sites, anything that marked the Underground Railroad or its path, anything at all that had to do with slavery as a brutal point in the U.S. history is going to be. Then what does that do? What does that do at the end? Because we have to talk about it. What does that do? Let's say that all of a sudden, and Al, you're right, the victor gets to rewrite history. But we're here in the present, and we're watching them. And they're not rewriting it. They're just making it so we can't reference it later. They're just making it so when you go to the Smithsonian, when your great-grandchildren go to the Smithsonian, that all they see is happy old America, and everybody was getting along, and Jim Crow never happened, and slavery never happened. Everybody was just here, and we were just having a good time, and that's it. And here's the thing I want to say about that. As much as I don't like what they're doing, if we removed our trauma from our memories, think we'd be happier people? I hate to say it, but I think so. As much as that hurts to admit, if all of a sudden we weren't as focused on oppression and all these things that were constructed through those time periods, through Jim Crow, through civil rights, if we weren't so focused on those things, where would be? I just feel like hiding it is the wrong way to do it. But the reason why they're hiding it is not because they think that it's going to change white culture. It's because they think it'll change Black culture. We already know who got the head start. So removing these things now doesn't change that we know it happened. But a few generations from now, maybe people won't be so mad at white people. That's what they're going for. Maybe they won't be so mad in a few generations if we don't keep reminding them of shit from 400 years ago. It's a crazy concept. and I hate to be the guy to say it, but I see where they're coming from. I don't like it at all, but I definitely see where they're coming from, because my brain would say to me, if we erased the negative ideas of race from people's minds in 3 or 4 generations to where we really just were Americans, would that hurt or harm the fabric of society? Would I be willing to turn in my memories of slavery and oppression for a world that didn't even think about enslaving or oppressing anyone? It's a really interesting question. I know a lot of people don't want to ask that. We want to hold on to the trauma. It gives us a reason to act out sometimes. Like whenever we're acting out, and then you bring it up. That's why they call it the race card. It's like a trump card. You drop it, I bringing up the race card. But what if there was no race card? Would the world be a better place? No, it's hard to admit. But would you be willing to give up your history for your future? That's crazy to think about. Real here. All of a sudden, they flashed a little thing in front of our face like in Men in Black. We didn't know anything about race or slavery. Any of that happened. We just woke up to today's world with Google and technology, and everybody's working alongside each other, and there's diverse environments, and black people have already been the president, and like post that world. I can't say it wouldn't be a better world, but I also can't say I want to erase history either, because I need people to remember where they came from. I do need that. But I know for a fact that this image of this scourged back, it did something to me when I was young and I saw it. And I was like, damn, that's what they were doing? But up until that point, I had no concept of this, because it was like the 80s. And we were all watching the same movies, and we're all watching the same shows, and we're watching Archie Bunker, and somebody said, no, not just this. Guess what they did before? They teach you a history to which you were basically oppressed for 400-something years, don't have a head start, and da-da-da-da-da. That's where critical race theory came from. And then you have to somehow in your brain break through that thought process and become successful after the fact. So I believe that there would be less hindrance of success if people weren't always coming from behind the 8, or at least feeling like they're. I know that is not a popular view. I'm not saying I think they should delete Black history. All I'm saying is, if we stop focusing so much on race, then race would not be so much of a. Maybe if we told the real stories of America, maybe if the stories of people like Benjamin Franklin with these inventions, maybe if they focused on the fact that, yes, he had slaves, but the slaves helped him with the inventions. So without the slaves, he wouldn't have been able to do what he did, which makes it part of American history. And because they cut those pieces out of each of these stories, the only thing they ever let you hear about is George Washington Carver and the damn peanut. But half of the stuff, 90% of these things that are regular everyday luxuries, traffic light, things like that, there were Black people involved who got no credit for it. Maybe if we told those stories right, it wouldn't be so divisive when we show this part. I don't know. Like I said, I'm wishful thinking because I wish the world loved itself. I wish that we didn't celebrate when people get shot in the neck. I wish that we didn't celebrate when kids get starved in places. I wish we didn't do that. But you know what? Nobody came and asked me about it before they started doing it. So unfortunately, I got to live here with y'all. But in the honest truth, I wish that my grandchildren don't have to deal with it. Like, I wish it was just, because if they're smart, they're smart. If this real merit-based thing, if that was real, I can't deny that would be better for me. That would be better for my family. We excel at shit. So if we didn't have a concept of race, and it really was just merit-based, and we did better parenting as a society, I think everybody would be more successful. But instead, they want us to constantly feel like we're being beat over the back with whips. And in some ways, yes, it does happen. It's a rough world out here. But it's not, we don't need to erase it. We need to fill in the blanks. That's where the problem is. They took all of the good stuff, put it on the white side, and then they said black people were just savages, slaves, and all this, but they helped you with 90% of the inventions that you came up with because you were making them do the work. That's how they came up with the cotton gin and the press for the mill, is because people were tired of doing it, so they come up with the invention. If you're not doing it, you're not tired of doing it. So that's why most inventions were made by slaves. It's because they were tired of doing the work manually, and they're like, hey, maybe we can try it this way, so I'm not breaking my back every day. And that's why the inventions. But why don't we just tell that story? Why do we have to try to make it something it wasn't? Just tell the real damn story. I think we can handle it. But to be honest, getting ready to close this out. The game of propaganda and the government using black people suffering started here. Started right. This was to recruit people into the union fight. Showed them this image and said, you don't want this to go on anymore. You need to start fighting. And they said that this image, a person's horrible experience that left all of these nasty ass scars on his back, instead of identifying it for what it was, which is a stark reminder of America's dark history, it's now called propaganda. Maybe we need some propaganda. So I'm not for this. I think they should have left the damn museums alone. Leave the museums alone. What's up with them Epstein? About that? You know, we got some other fish to fry. But this idea of, I'm not going to call it whitewashing. Let's call it delicate wash. Like they put it in the delicates. They want to make it a delicate. No, it was brutal. And it's still brutal. That's why we got people getting shot in the neck on college campuses. America's a brutal place. So tell the story correctly. Don't remove the inference, because now we're going to start talking about it even more. And this image, maybe it'll leave the Smithsonian, but they will never scrub it from the internet. They'll never scrub it from the internet. They're coming for it. They are scrubbing digital copies of the shit. They are scrubbing the physical stuff. They're burning things, getting rid of history that up until now was considered important. So why is it not important now? Is because the rhetoric of things are too politically divisive is winning. It's winning. If you want to say we're too racially divided, well, maybe we should eliminate talking about race. And then they can make that point because we are acting too damn racially divided. So, of course, they're going to try something like that. But at the end of the day, you fast forward 5 generations, nobody has a concept of that shit. As depressing as that is to me, I would not be able to lie to you guys and say the world wouldn't be. None of that shit ever happened, as far as we know. So Trump's going to put back up some Confederate statues that came down and taking this down. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But I'm just telling y'all right now, I wish we didn't have this as our world. I wish this was not what we started with, so that we have to keep visiting it. But you also cannot eliminate it because it's your. You should know how ugly you should know how brutal, so that you don't go back to it. Those who forget history are doomed to repeat. Everybody knows. So no reply. Thank you very much for the information in there about the tallest building in America. And like I said, everything was done at that time by black people. It's just we didn't get the credit for it because that's not how the world worked at the time. But the reason why these inventions were made was because black people were doing the work manually. They were like, dude, I'm tired of doing this, man. Maybe we can come up with a more efficient way to do it. And they did. That's what happened. That's why all of you look around and be like, the refrigerator, air conditioner, a traffic light. The list goes on and on and on of inventions that were built or the idea was created by a black inventor and the patent is owned by a white person. Because black people couldn't own patents back then. So we know what happened. We know what happened. And special shout out to James Crawford Wordnam in the chat. A very introspective comment. And it's the same way I feel. Unfortunately, if they scrub history, devalue the struggle, suffering that was experienced at the time. And that's what I'm saying. Because even the struggle in overcoming that should be a positive for the people who overcame it. To say, hey, you can go through a lot because your people have come through these things. So that should be a motivator. Should be. But it just doesn't work like that. Can't erase history. Can't erase history. And not no more. Could have done that stuff way back in the day. Could have done that way back in the day. Just burn some books and you erase history. Now with technology and the internet and data centers and infinite cloud retention, this stuff goes nowhere. So instead of trying to erase history, build on it. Let's build on it. Have we not reached a fork in the road here? We got people getting assassinated on TV now. Like, all right, it's time to calm it down. People are getting too upset and they're lashing out at other people. And then you got folks that don't even care that people are dying. Like, they don't care. They don't care that black people are killing each other in the hood. They don't care if Charlie Kirk gets shot in the neck. They don't care. They don't care about nobody. And that is the world that we live in right now. So we're going to see where this goes. We're going to definitely see where it goes. Because I feel like people are going to try to protest it. And I think they should. But I think that maybe they should just sit down and figure out how they're going to draw this picture again. Or let's just fill in the blanks a little bit more. Let's fill in the blanks. You want black people to be positive? Tell them about how many of those inventions were actually made by black people without us having to go search for it or hear some Imhotep dude tell us that shit on the street on a microphone. Like, put that in there. And not just in February. There were way more speakers than Martin Luther King Jr. Tell us about them. Half people don't even know who Medgar Evers was. They know who Emmett Till was, though, because he got killed. You know what I'm saying? And bloated body, and because they kept a picture around. If not, they would have forgot about Emmett Till. So, and James Crawford Wordnam, I have not seen you in my chat before, but I'm glad you're here. But we definitely cover the concept of that last comment on this show. Because we believe that we need to value each other. Each human has a value. We are value. And we're not just valuable to the government, because you are valuable to the government, especially if you're working age. Oh, got a price tag attached to you. But we need to value each other's human experience. You've gone through some things I haven't gone through. I've gone through some things you haven't gone through. And maybe together we can help each other get through the next thing. But if we can't at least identify with the human experience, I'm human, you're human, forget black, white, tall, short, fat, all that, those human. Are we all here on the planet? If both were set on fire, won't we both burn? Like that kind of stuff. If we can get that playing field back together where people don't just believe that they're superior because of skin color, because I know a lot of people that are of different skin colors that are not superior to the people that they're supposed to be superior to. I know a white guy who's an idiot and a black guy who's a genius, you know? Not saying all on either side. What I'm saying is it doesn't fit the narrative. So we need to stop that shit. That's what I'm saying. If we could all just be honest about it, like, yeah, you could say all black people are savages and then come on this show and you'll be like, well, that doesn't make sense. So that means they're all not savages. Some people are. And that's mostly a parenting problem, drugs and alcohol. But that's not limited to race. That's limited to poverty lines. That's to do with income and financial hardship. If we could be honest about it, we could have that conversation. Most people don't want to be honest. They don't. They want to talk that goofiness, keep everybody upset and arguing with each other, keep us at odds with each other while they make moves in the background and become billionaires and trillionaires, and we're just sitting there holding the bag with these high-ass gas prices. Yes, gas went up 40 cents yesterday where I live at. 40 cents in one day. Talk about that. That ain't got nothing to do with race. Gas is not just high in black neighborhoods or white neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? It is too damn high. So anyway, I'm going to give my shout outs and I'm going to get out of here because I got a couple things to do. It has been a fun episode. I know this is a little different than normal, but it's a very volatile scene right now when it comes to the algorithm. So the topics that are covered, certain groups you can't cover. I don't know who they are. Can't cover them. Right now, the thing with Charlie Kirk is steering in that direction. So I'm going to stay the hell away from that for a while. Like, I'm going to let them have them, whatever they're going to do, but let them have them. There's some conspiracy theories that'll make your head turn. Any of that stuff turns out to be true, oh my gosh, we're going to be dealing with this for a minute. That's cool. James Crawford Wordham said it's British. That's cool. Are you in Britain right now watching me? Or are you like over in the West and you happen to catch? Because if I'm getting Britain plays, you know, I'm gonna start feeling good about myself. If they actually let somebody outside of the East Coast get a feed of this show. So for you guys that are new to the show, thank y'all for coming on. This applause is all right. All my new folks. And make sure if you're brand new, make sure that you subscribed back on Thursday for some more BS to purge. And make sure you tell a friend and bring a friend, right? So, damn, he said gas is $10 a gallon? There. Anyway, so special shouts again to James Crawford Wordnam. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Special shouts to No Reply. Hit the gong for No Reply. IMZ, the beautiful IMZ. Always keeping the chat and the mods motivated. Appreciate it. My man Al Bond, of course. That is my sergeant at arms. He makes sure things stay nice and tight in here. Shadow Step. I'm not sure what that was about. Shadow Step stopped in earlier talking about they're going to think about me in the shower. Weird. Ghost 40. Shouts to Ghost 40 for stopping in. What else do we have in here? I haven't seen Ghost 40. Good to see you. You know who I'm looking for? Where is Purple Groovy? Purple Groovy be hanging out in the rafters and will watch a whole show and not say nothing. So I always give a shout to Purple Groovy. All right? I don't know if you're in there, out there, or any of that, but anybody who's on the sidelines or in the rafters just watching the show, I appreciate you too. I appreciate you stopping by. Because if you're not part of purging the bullshit, then unfortunately you are the bullshit. And that's all I got to say today.